Have you ever felt a rush of excitement when solving a tricky puzzle? That feeling, my friends, is the joy of the riddle. Riddles are more than just games. They are workouts for your brain. Like a detective searching for clues, each riddle asks you to become a mental sleuth. Riddles make us think differently. They force us to see beyond the obvious. They challenge our assumptions, and in that challenge we discover the flexibility of our own minds. Are you ready for a challenge? I've assembled 7 riddles, each one a unique test of your mental agility. Sharpen your wits and let the games begin. 3 friends check into a hotel room. They are excited about their trip and looking forward to a relaxing stay. The hotel lobby is bustling with activity, and the friends chat animatedly as they approach the reception desk. The clerk tells them the room is $30, which seems reasonable to the friends. They quickly agree to split the cost equally among themselves, so each man pays $10, making a total of $30. They hand over the money to the clerk, who accepts it with a smile and hands them the key to their room. Later, the clerk realizes the room should only have cost $25. He feels a bit embarrassed about the mistake and wants to correct it immediately. He gives the bellhop $5 to return to the guests. The bellhop nods and takes the money, ready to make things right. On the way to the room, the bellhop realizes he cannot divide the money evenly among the 3 friends. He ponders for a moment, trying to figure out the best way to handle the situation. He decides to pocket $2 for himself and gives each guest $1 back. The friends are pleased to get some money back, even if it's not the full amount they overpaid. Now, each guest has paid $9, their original $10 minus the $1 back, for a total of $27. They feel satisfied with the resolution, not realizing there's a puzzle at play. The bellhop has $2 in his pocket, feeling a bit guilty, but also pleased with his small gain. If you add those amounts, that's $29. This is where the confusion begins, as the total should be $30. Where's the missing dollar? This question puzzles many who hear the story for the first time. Think carefully about the flow of money. The key to solving this riddle lies in understanding the transactions separately. This riddle tricks us into adding amounts that shouldn't be added together. The friend's payment and the bellhop's actions are separate transactions and should be considered as such. The guest payment of $27 includes the $25 for the room and the $2 the bellhop kept. The bellhop's actions are an additional transaction. The correct calculation is the $25 the hotel ultimately received plus the $5 the bellhop kept, totaling the correct amount of $30. The missing dollar is an illusion created by the way the transactions are presented. 4 people need to cross a rickety bridge at night. The bridge is old and fragile, swaying with every gust of wind. The night is pitch black, and the only source of light is a single torch that flickers in the cold breeze. They have only one torch, and the bridge can only hold 2 people at a time. The torch is essential for crossing safely, as the darkness is impenetrable without it. Person A can cross in 1 minute, person B in 2 minutes, person C in 5 minutes, and person D in 8 minutes. Each person has a different pace, and they must work together to ensure everyone crosses safely. When 2 people cross together, they must travel at the slower person's pace. This means that the time taken for each crossing is determined by the slower walker. What is the fastest time they can all cross the bridge? They need to strategize carefully to minimize the total time spent crossing. This is a classic logic puzzle. The challenge lies in coordinating their movements and making the best use of the torch. The key is to minimize the time spent returning the torch to the starting side. Each return trip adds to the total time, so they must plan these trips carefully. Here's the most efficient solution. First, A and B cross together, taking 2 minutes. This is the fastest initial crossing. 1, A and B cross together, 2 minutes. They move quickly, guided by the torchlight. 2, A returns with the torch, 1 minute. A is the fastest, so it makes sense for them to bring the torch back quickly. 3, C and D cross together, 8 minutes. This is the longest crossing, as D is the slowest. 4, B returns with the torch, 2 minutes. B is faster than C and D, so they return to bring the torch back. 5A and B cross together, 2 minutes. Total time, 15 minutes. By carefully planning their crossings and returns, they manage to get everyone across in the shortest time possible. What is always coming but never arrives? What is always near but never here? What has no hands but can strike? This riddle plays with words and their multiple meanings. The answer is time. Time is always coming, but never arrives, the future. Time is always near, but never here, the present. Time has no hands but can strike, a clock striking the hour. Section 5, Riddle for wordplay. What has an eye but cannot see? This is a classic riddle that relies on wordplay. The answer is a needle. The eye of a needle is the small hole at one end where you thread it, not a real eye used for seeing. Section 6, Riddle 5, Fruitful Logic. I'm an odd number. Take away a letter and I become even. What number am I? The answer is 7. When you remove the S from 7, you are left with even. Section 7, Riddle 6, the farmer's dilemma. A farmer has to transport a fox, a chicken and a sack of grain across a river. This might sound simple at first, but there's a catch. He has a boat, but it's so small that it can only carry him and one other thing at a time. This limitation makes the task much more challenging. The fox will eat the chicken if left alone together, and the chicken will eat the grain if left alone with it. So, the farmer must be very careful about the order in which he transports them. How can the farmer safely transport everything across the river without losing any of his possessions? This puzzle has stumped many, but with a bit of logical thinking, it can be solved. This classic riddle requires careful planning to avoid a tasty disaster. The key is to think ahead and anticipate the consequences of each move. Here's the solution. 1. The farmer takes the chicken across the river first. This is because the chicken is the most vulnerable if left alone with either the fox or the grain. 2. The farmer returns alone. This step is crucial as it allows him to transport the other items without leaving the chicken in danger. 3. The farmer takes the fox across the river. Now he has the fox on one side and the chicken on the other. 4. The farmer returns with the chicken. This might seem counterintuitive, but it ensures that the chicken is not left alone with the grain. 5. The farmer takes the grain across the river. Now the fox and the grain are on one side and the chicken is on the other. 6. The farmer returns alone. This step is necessary to finally bring the chicken across without any risk. 7. The farmer takes the chicken across the river. Now all 3 items, the fox, the chicken and the grain, are safely on the other side. The farmer has successfully solved the dilemma through careful planning and logical steps. Section 8, the power of puzzles. How did you fare against these brain-bending riddles? Some may have been simple, while others left you scratching your head, but that's the beauty of a good puzzle. The challenge itself is half the fun. Riddles remind us that our minds are capable of incredible flexibility and adaptability. By engaging with these mental exercises, we strengthen our critical thinking skills, our ability to problem solve, and our capacity for creative thought. So the next time you encounter a riddle, don't shy away from the challenge. Embrace the opportunity to exercise your mind and unlock the joy of finding the solution.